Live from the WACH Fox Studios, this is Good Day Columbia, starting your day the local way, right now.
A good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Freddie Clairvaux. Thank you so much for joining us for a special edition of Good Day Columbia. We are live in your hometown in Batesburg-Leesville this morning. We'll be broadcasting until 9 o'clock this morning. Of course, we're talking about the town's rich history, what you need to know, and of course, the South Carolina Poultry Fest. We have a fun-packed show for you all this morning. We'll have our Tyler Ryan. He'll be here cooking up some great, delicious barbecue. Our Destiny Chance will let you know everything you need to know about the town. And Courtney King is here as well. She has some special pieces on some athletes here across Batesburg-Leesville, and many people are trying to figure out what is the weather going to be like, and also your headlines before you head out the door. Of course, our Britt Conway is back home in the studio, but now we're going to toss it over to Lauren Oleski with your out the door forecast. Lauren, what is it going to be like this morning?
Hey, Friendy, how you doing this morning? Well, this morning we have some headlines for you, as Friendy mentioned, and then we'll get to your weather in just a minute. We have two pictures that Aiken County deputies want you to take a close look at. Two people they say beat an 81-year-old man to death. It's your top story this Friday morning, but first, as Friendy mentioned, Lauren, you've got news about some rain headed our way.
Yeah, we could see some showers. We actually have our first named storm of the season. And yes, hurricane season doesn't start until June 1st, but it's not totally unusual to actually see some formation or some kind of tropical or subtropical activity in this case as early as May. So right now in the Midlands, we are starting off clear, not really seeing too much out there, a couple clouds. Most of that rain still off down near the coast, and that's where most of it will stay for the day. Now, 65 in Columbia right now. Lexington is at 63. Same with Winsboro, 64 in Orangeburg right now. Manning is at 61. So is Saluda. So as you head out the door, you'll see maybe a couple clouds out there up to the upper 60s just by around 9 o'clock. We'll head toward the 80s a little bit later on today. And then we could see a shower or two because of subtropical storm Anna. We'll talk more about the potential impacts the storm could bring coming up in my next update.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, this morning, deputies in Aiken County are looking for two people they say are armed and dangerous. Now, take a close look. They think these two people beat an 81-year-old man to death. Deputies say this man, 33-year-old Donald Hurticon and 33-year-old Sandra Marie Evans, knew Claude Ward, who was found dead in his home on Aiken on Wednesday. Now, these two are now facing murder and burglary charges. They could be driving in a 2013 Toyota Tundra. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC if you know where these two are. Right now, we're waiting to hear more from police about this standoff on Farmview Street last night. We're told someone called Columbia Police to check on a family member around 5 o'clock. When police got out there, they say the man had barricaded himself inside his home and was threatening to hurt himself. You can see a crisis negotiation team and SWAT were all called out. As soon as we have more information here, we'll let you know. Well, a teenager in Orangeburg County is in some serious trouble this morning after making multiple threats against Lake Marion High School. Investigators say 17-year-old Terrell Whaley has made 5 threats since last month. And during one of those calls, deputies say he told the person on the line that he hated Lake Marion High School and was going to blow it up.
They need to know that this is something that we take seriously. And we, with the manpower that we have to put out there, doing the actual bomb threat, we're going to put double the manpower out there to catch whoever's doing it. And right now we have the technology to run them down. So we're going to get you.
Well, now that teenager is facing a couple charges right now, including making bomb threats and conveying false information about bomb threats. He could face up to 10 years in prison. And deputies tell us there are more arrests possible here. Well, this morning we're learning more about another officer-involved shooting in South Carolina, the 17th this year. Now, this one happened yesterday during a home invasion in Charleston. The guy who owns the house is the one who got shot. The SLED is investigating right now, but here's what we know so far. We're told 2 men walked into a house in Charleston while the man who lives there was in the laundry room. Well, that's when a neighbor called 911. And when officers got there, they found the homeowner holding a gun, and he'd started shooting at the intruders, who we're told ended up getting away on bikes. Well, deputies say they ordered the homeowner to drop the gun, but he didn't, so they shot him, hitting him in the neck. Still no word, though, on how he's doing right now. Well, 2 teenagers in Newberry County are still missing this morning. They've been gone for more than a week. Take a look. 15-year-old Jonathan Dennis. In a moment, you'll see 16-year-old Alicia Skipper's photo. They apparently ran away from home, but investigators are scared they might be in danger right now. Well, last night, the community hosted a prayer vigil for those teens. A lot of people there dressed in green. That's the color to represent runaway children. And people also released green balloons, a symbol of the positive thoughts they're sending these two kids.
Come home or just text us and let us know you're okay, because the sleepless nights of not knowing if you have food or clothing is just unbearable.
I just want them to come home. I want them to know that our arms are wide open. No matter what choices they've made to this point, our arms are wide open to them, and we are praying for them diligently.
But we're working with all different law enforcement agencies to get the word out, and hopefully somebody will see something and come forward.
Now, police are actively looking for these two right now, so if you know anything that can help them, call the Newberry County Sheriff's Office or the Newberry Police Department. The teens were driving a white 2006 Hummer H3 the last time anyone saw them. More information on Alicia and Jonathan, including their pictures, can be found on our website. That's WACH.com. Well, now to another missing persons case, this time in Calhoun County, and now SLED has joined that investigation. Take a look. This is 41-year-old Paulette Scott. She hasn't been seen since March 26th. And none of her family members have heard from her since then either. And before she disappeared, she apparently told her family she needed to clear her head. If you know where she is or know anything that can help police find her, call Crime Stoppers. Again, that number is 1-888-CRIME-SC. On your State House Watch this morning, SC State is finally going to get a new board of trustees, a decision that's been in the works for quite some time now. The House and Senate approved the measure that was passed on Wednesday. That was to sack the current board altogether and replace it with a temporary one, a fix-it board of sorts that can dig the school out of its financial crisis. 4 members of the current board have already resigned on their own terms, but the rest of them are just one step away from being replaced.
What it means is that South Carolina State can turn the page and move forward toward righting the ship and getting about the business of educating young people in this state.
Governor Haley is expected to sign the measure into law, and once she does, the new board members need to be elected within 7 days. Well, the state's $7 billion budget has gotten the thumbs up. After days of debate, it finally came with a 42-3 vote. And that deal includes $800 bonuses for state workers. $4 million would be sent to counties for 2014 ice storm damage. And all of the remaining money will go to counties for state roads. Exactly how much money will go into the budget, though, depends on what the Board of Economic Advisors finds when they meet, and that's set for May 21st. Well, South Carolina just got a big surprise from, yep, you recognize that guy. That's Stephen Colbert. The Carolina native and national comedian says he's going to help fund every classroom project in the state. Now, that's close to 1,000 projects at more than 375 schools. He's partnering up with Share Fair Nation and ScanSource to make it happen. The total dollar amount, $800,000.
Live from the Skywatch Weather Center is Lauren Oleski with your weather forecast.
Happy Friday, everyone. Starting off with a dry sky right now. You might see a couple clouds out there and likely maybe a little bit more. A little later this morning, keeping an eye on subtropical storm Anna right now. Some showers along the coast, but there's not too much moisture associated with this system right now. Seeing that orange box there, let's take a look at what all of this means. So we've got small craft advisories issued in that light pink color that includes parts of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, elevated wind speeds, rough seas out there. The Outer Banks of North Carolina could see seas between about 6 and 11 feet. And then this light color you're seeing here, tropical storm watches. So those tropical storm characteristics with those wind speeds of around 39 miles per hour likely going to happen within the next 48 hours or so. And then there's that tropical storm warning for the coastal waters down near the low country. So if you had plans to head to the coast this weekend, maybe go the other way because it's not going to be so glamorous out there. Let's take a look at the latest on subtropical storm Anna. This is as of the 5 o'clock advisory. Moving at 1 mile per hour, so not really moving a whole lot, and a lot of the moisture you can see there is on the western side of it. What impacts could we see from this? Well, today we could see a brief scattered shower. kind of a mix of clouds and sun, kind of similar to what we had yesterday, and maybe a scattered shower or two. But I think better rain chances are going to be moving in through the day tomorrow, and then potentially again on Sunday as the storm actually gets a little bit closer to the coastline. So today, temperatures in the low 80s, a couple clouds and mix of clouds and sun out there, I should say. Maybe a scattered shower. It will definitely be a little breezy though because of that system. Sunrise is at 6:28 this morning.
Thanks so much, Lauren. Well, coming up on Good Day Columbia, we're headed back to Batesburg-Leesville, live in your town. Tyler is giving us a bit of a history lesson.
All right, Britt and Lauren, thank you so very much. Once again, folks, we are broadcasting live in your town this morning, Batesburg-Leesville, right now with Tyler Ryan. Tyler, you're going to show us a little behind the scenes of the town.
A little bit of history, man. George Washington has been in this town. There's a lot of history here in this little town. Batesburg-Leesville, they came together. We're going to learn about how that hall came to be and how it's tied in like the main thoroughfare from Augusta all the way to Charlotte in the north.
Some good stuff. Well, I want to hear about this. George Washington? Okay, we got to hear about this.
George Washington was here. How did we get off?
All right, folks, set us. We're back after this.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Good Day Columbia. We are live and local in your town, Batesburg-Leesville. Fantastic little town just outside of Lexington. If you head down past Lexington town, down through some beautiful farmlands, you find this great little town of Batesburg-Leesville. Miss Louise Riley from Batesburg-Leesville. I just learned you actually are not from Batesburg-Leesville, but you were born in Canada, but you tied to this town 70 years ago.
Yes.
So your family, your daddy was from here, your mama was from England, you said, right?
Right.
And you end up here in Batesburg-Leesville.
Right.
That's quite a journey, for sure.
Right. It's a long story.
So let's talk, speaking of long stories, Batesburg-Leesville's had a long history back in the late 1700s, right?
Right. Originally, the Indian Trail ran #1 highway, and
it wasn't paved then, was it?
Oh, no. Very narrow wagon, well, really an Indian path, and then later became wagon path.
Okay.
And it ran all the way from Maine into Florida.
Maine, so it was almost the I-95 of the day.
Right.
Okay, very good.
Well, that's why it's called #1 highway, because it was the #1 main high.
Okay.
And Batesburg-Leesville had a lot of Cherokee Indians that were here, and they began to lose, through treaties, they began to lose the land.
Right.
And people out of Charleston became owners of land up here.
Okay.
And some of them were Pierce Butler, who was in the Revolutionary War and was in Paris when they signed the treaty to end the Revolutionary War.
No kidding. Okay.
And the Indian fighter, John Fairchild, was here and was given the first block of land.
Wow.
The later, where you had the Civil War came along.
Oh, of course it did. That was you know, South Carolina being the start of the Civil War. There's a whole. Now, real quick though, George Washington stayed in town at one point. Is that true, or is that a rumor?
No, he didn't stay here. He stayed in Ridge Spring, but usually he would eat breakfast later after he left, and he had breakfast here at the Lee Tavern.
So he ate breakfast though?
Yes, he had
very
breakfast
first president of the U.S. right here in Batesburg-Leesville.
And he also came through here in 1791 on his tour of the South.
Fantastic.
So
great stuff.
It is not really a rumor, but it's been tradition that that's happened from a long time ago.
Right. Well, let's just make it so today on television. What do you say? All right. We're going to continue on with Miss Louise Riley here from Batesburg-Leesville. Find out how the two towns came together in about a half hour or so. And we're going to learn more and spend the entire day and morning in your town in Batesburg-Leesville here live and local on Good Day Columbia. Stay with us. We're coming back.
Welcome back to Good Day Columbia, ladies and gentlemen. A special edition of Good Day here in your town, broadcasting live from Batesburg-Leesville. We learned a lot a few seconds ago about the history of Batesburg, like the former president, long time president, actually came through over here. So some pretty good things that we're learning. But of course, one of the other things that we're learning today is about the South Carolina Poultry Festival. We're talking a fest where hundreds of thousands of people are expected to come here and to come by this town right over here. Now, joining me now is the chairman of the fest, Miss Gina Copeland. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know you're ready to just call everything quits. You're tired already.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Just getting started.
So tell us, at a town, the town this size, about 5,000 people, this festival is a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody looks forward to it, and they're out cleaning their yards and raking and making sure the town's beautiful and all that kind of good stuff.
Give us a historical look. When we talk about poultry, you know, many people don't think about, you know, having a festival for poultry and chicken, but this is a really big deal for you all. Tell us the history.
We had a very wonderful lady, Miss Sarah Sheely, who owns Sheely's Barbecue, that came up with this idea. This is her brainchild. And she was in a Leesville Merchants Association meeting and said, you know, we have so much with this industry going on in town, we need to do something to help that industry. So, and to celebrate how many people they employ in the town. Oh, wow. So that's where the idea came from, and the first festival was held in 1987. So this is our 29th festival, and we had a phenomenal time. Ms. Sheely grew this festival from probably 5,000 people to, before she passed away, it was over 100,000. Wow,
so definitely in her memory, keeping the legacy continuing. Because, wow, you all doing something right. I mean, the 29th annual.
We try.
Wow. Talk to us about the festival and also about the economy. How it's affecting or impacting the local economy, because we're talking about 100,000 people that are going to that you all expect to come by.
Right. And there is tax revenue from that, you know, so we enjoy that as the town.
Right.
But we do, with the little bit of money that we do make, we do put it back into the town.
Oh, that's
whether
great.
It's in scholarships, whether it's philanthropy, giving to the Ridge Arts Society, to beautification projects, to helping the chorus go to, or the band go to London, or, you know, anything like that that we can help with and make this community a better place to live. That's what we do with our proceeds.
All right, really quick, Ms. Gina, 20 more seconds left. Folks that are watching this morning, what do they need to know?
They need to know that they need to come out to Batesburg-Leesville and have a wonderful time. You'll have plenty of food, fun, entertainment, rides, games, you name it, we've got it.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Copeland. Thank you so much for that. All right, and Lauren, what can you tell us? Is the weather going to be great for us here this weekend?
Live from the SkyWatch Weather Center is Lauren Oleski with your weather forecast.
Well, Batesburg-Leesville is in a favorable location because it's further to the west, and the further west that you are, the least impact you will be seeing from subtropical storm Anna. Yes, we have our first named storm. It formed last night. Sumter right now, sustained winds at 13 miles per hour, 9 miles per hour in Orangeburg this morning, 7 in Manning. Northwest winds to get us, or northeast winds, excuse me, to get us going. It's going to be a little bit breezier at times today because of that system that is sitting offshore. Let's look at the winds right now that we're seeing along the coast. Sustained in Myrtle Beach at 18 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour in Charleston, 12 in Florence. Now that center of circulation is about 170 miles south of Myrtle Beach right now. Maximum sustained winds with inside Anna this morning are at, there you go, 45 miles per hour. Notice the movement. Barely moving, nearly stationary, only at about 1 mile per hour right now in that north-northwest direction. And we'll set this cone in motion for you, and you can see by Monday, it's going to be potentially, this is that forecasted track, just to the north of the South Carolina-North Carolina border. What I'm trying to get you to look at is how slow this thing is moving. By Sunday at 2 a.m., likely barely even along the coast. It's Friday, so it's going to take it 2 days to travel not too far. So again, a very slow moving system. We will be seeing here in the Midlands minimal impacts compared to those that are going to be along the coast, where it will be much windier and they will likely be seeing more rain. Now today we could see a brief scattered shower moving through the region. I'm really not expecting a whole washout or anything from this because we are so far inland. Now the eastern Midlands, you'll probably see more rain and more clouds than our friends will be seeing out west, say out in Newberry or in Saluda today. So you can see by tomorrow, we could get another round of some rain. And again, that's as that storm continues to approach the region. This is 5 o'clock on your Saturday afternoon. Some scattered showers are possible. Same thing with your Sunday. There's also a lot of moisture around. When you get that heating in there with our temperatures in the 80s, you could get some of those pop-up showers and storms. But again, we're going to keep our temperatures in the 80s. We're going to continue to watch the chance for some shower activity for you through the weekend. Even yes, your Mother's Day, you might see some rain. Then a cold front's going to get here by Monday, Tuesday, or by Monday and Tuesday of next week. So we'll keep rain chances in the forecast. But we're going to stay in the 80s through next week. So notice that temperature by Tuesday, about 90 degrees. Big warm up ahead of that cold front that's going to be making its way here in the Midlands. So I'm going to continue to track the subtropical storm, Ana for you for the rest of this morning. But right now we're going to go send it back out to Courtney and Friendy in Batesburg-Leesville, and we've got a sports update with our Courtney King.
All right, Lauren, thank you so much for that. And of course, folks, we're broadcasting live this morning in your town from Batesburg-Leesville, and a town about 5,600 people. And of course, Courtney, what would a town be like, small town be like, without some sports?
Well, it's funny because it's kind of parallel to Friday Night Lights. They're the Panthers, and Friday Night Lights are the Panthers here.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and I'll show you their football influence in sports. It's pretty rich football history, some cool stuff, and some current football, really interesting things going on as well, especially one guy with recruiting. So we'll talk about that next in sports.
Live from the WACH Fox studio, here is Courtney King with your sports update.
Welcome back to Good Day Columbia, folks. A special edition of In Your Town, broadcasting all morning long from Batesburg-Leesville. And of course, what would a small town be like without some sports? It reminds me of Friday Night Lights, Courtney.
Yeah. What's funny is I'm actually rewatching that on Netflix with Lauren Oleski. Sometimes, you know, we do it on our days off. But I was thinking about that. They're actually both the Panthers, which is really funny.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, and the more I've learned about their sports here is they really do take their football seriously. And they have a pretty big name recruit at the high school, Terrence Wilson, and he actually could potentially be a Clemson Tiger or a Gamecock. Those are some of the schools he's interested in. But his head coach, Perry Woolbright, has been a big help in his decision-making process.
What I always tell them is I'll advise them, you know, academic-wise, I make sure they stay on the track there. And then when it comes to their choices, it's got to be their choice. You know, it's going to be their home the next 4 or 5 years. Biggest thing I tell them is they got to be able to take football out the picture and say, can I go to school there?
Number 23, Terrence Wilson.
I know Coach helped me out a lot, you know, and the guys that I talk to, the recruiting coaches, the coaches, they come, I mean, they're really good guys, you know. I mean, it ain't really stressing. I mean, I think it's going to be good going into my senior year. It's feeling good. Really not thinking about where I'm just going into my senior season. I'm going into camps in the summer, so I'm just trying to find the right fit for me.
And what do you think would make the best fit?
Great academics, and going into a school that has the same offense that I'm into right now, just going in, knowing what to do, and already know half of the stuff.
He would want to go somewhere that he still has that home environment, you know, not somewhere where he's just going to be another number on the board, but, you know, be somewhere where they're going to know his name, know who he is and things like that, and be that small town feel.
Now, you heard Terrence mention academics. He takes his education very seriously. He plans on majoring in business when he does find that right fit for him college-wise. Now, head coach Perry Woolbright, we also talked a little bit about spring practice. Many of the local schools are back on the field getting ready for the season already.
Oh, definitely. You know, this is what you look forward to. You know, when the season ends, you're ready to get back out there and get cranked up, getting ready for next year. You know, our kids have had a great spring in the weight room, great spring in their spring sports and winter sports. And so, you know, we're getting here toward the end of the year, so this will be a great time to go out and evaluate and see where we're at going into the summertime. So, you know, there's a lot of excitement around here today about starting practice.
Gamecock softball falls 10-1 to number 2 Florida in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. They return home waiting to hear their fate in the NCAA tournament. They'll find it out Sunday night at 10 p.m. during the selection show on ESPN. Now, Gamecocks baseball, they travel to Texas A&M for 3 highlights tonight on WACH Fox News at 10. Now, take a look at this. Alex Rodriguez passes Willie Mays with 661 career homers, hitting this one against the Baltimore Orioles last night. Now, the 4th most of all time. The homer projected at 440 feet, and the Yankees 2-1 win over Joe Pollock's team, the Baltimore Orioles. Now, it's kind of funny, Friendy, because he broke Willie Mays' record. Willie Mays turned 84 2 days ago, so it's like, happy birthday, I'm going to break your home run record.
Wow, that kind of sucks, doesn't it? Wow. So I guess he was going to break his record now.
Yeah, someone will break A-Rod's when he's 84.
Wow.
You know, pay it for it.
Wow. But pretty cool story there on that running back, and possible could be in our backyard.
Yeah, exactly. He said family's very important to him. That's why he wants to stay in the state. We'll actually talk more about him and his character and what it's been like for him growing up in a small town, how it shaped him as a football player in the 6 o'clock hour.
All right, Courtney, thank you so much for that. And folks, stay with us, of course, after the break. We're going to send it over to our Britt Conway, who has your headlines for you and all things you need to know taking place across the Midlands. We're live right now in Batesburg-Leesville.
You're watching Good Day Columbia. Start your day the local way with Britt Conway, Friendy Clairvaux, Tyler Ryan, and Lauren Oleski's Skywatch forecast. Live from the WACH Fox Studios, this is Good Day Columbia. Starting your day the local way right now.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Friendy Clairvaux. Thank you so much for joining us for Good Day Columbia. And we have a special edition of Good Day Columbia today in your town. We are broadcasting live from Batesburg-Leesville. We're learning a lot about this small town, what the town has to offer, historical pieces, and of course, a special show for you. And definitely, we're talking the South Carolina Poultry Festival that started last night and is going all to this weekend. Tyler Ryan is here. He'll be showing us some good cooking food with some barbecue, as well as our Destiny Chance. She'll be showing you all the things you need to know about this community. And Courtney King is highlighting some of the athletes around here in this area. And everybody wants to know, of course, your headlines. What's your headlines going to be like for today, as well as your weather forecast. Our Britt Conway is standing by right now for your headlines, as well as Lauren Oleski back live in downtown Columbia. Hey, guys.
Hey, Friendy. You guys look great this morning. We're a little jealous that you're out there and we're back here, but we just want to make sure everyone's covered. We've got your headlines this morning, as we've mentioned. So we'll have your headlines every half hour and then be checking out with you guys out in the field. And the question, though, Lauren, I know that we have a storm kind of coming through. Is that going to affect them out in the field today?
They should be okay this morning. Now, some of you might see a little bit of rain through the weekend, not a washout or anything. Most of the effects from Anna will stay along the coast, which is some good news for us. You know, we're inland. You know, we don't have to deal with all the rain and all the wind that they're going to be seeing, so minimal impacts for us here in the Midlands.
Good news. Yes. I think everyone out there is pretty thrilled, too, especially, of course, coming up on this weekend with the Poultry Festival. So
I agree. So let's take a look right now at your temperatures as you step outside this morning. It's mild out there right now. 65 degrees in Columbia, 64 in Sumter this morning. Manning at 61, 63 in Camden, 61 up in Winsboro, 59 degrees in Newberry. Saluda's at 61. Aiken, 61 as well. Lexington right now at 63. Just to kind of give you a quick look across the southeast right now. Not a whole lot of moisture with subtropical storm Anna right now, excuse me. There are some watches and warnings, though, issued up along the coast. We will talk more about what those are coming up in my next update.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, it's time now for a look at your morning headlines. This morning, deputies in Aiken County are looking for two people they say are armed and dangerous. So take a close look. They think that this man, and the woman's picture you'll see next, beat an 81-year-old man to death. And deputies say 33-year-old Donald Hurdicant and 33-year-old Sandra Marie Evans knew Claude Ward, that man who was found dead in his home in Aiken on Wednesday. Now these two are facing murder and burglary charges. And they could be driving in a 2013 Toyota Tundra. Call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC if you know where they are. Right now, we're waiting to hear a little bit more about this standoff on Farmview Street. This all started last night. We're told someone called Columbia Police to check on a family member around 5 o'clock, and when police got there, they say the man had barricaded himself inside and has been threatening to hurt himself. Crisis negotiation team and SWAT teams were called in as well. As soon as we have any more information, we'll have an update for you. On your National Watch this morning, we're learning more about two men who launched an attack in Texas. The FBI says it gave police a warning about one of the Texas attackers just hours before he opened fire. Mary Maloney has the latest on this developing story.
You come together and you pray 5 times a day with the brothers.
For the first time, we're hearing from one of the Texas shooters, Elton Simpson. In this fundraising video for an Arizona mosque, Simpson talks about using his faith as a kind of weapon.
Provides for you a form of weaponry to go out into the real world.
Friends say they would have never suspected Simpson or his accomplice Nadir Sufi of heavily arming themselves or shooting at police. One officer killed both men.
They were well armed, well prepared for the attack. They pulled up, fired an initial shot, and were put down still at the curb. They didn't get very far at all. So they were better armed than they were better planned.
But the FBI was so concerned about Simpson that 3 hours before the attack, the Bureau shared his photo and license plate information with local police. What agents and Garland police say they didn't know was that Simpson and Sufi had traveled from their Arizona home to Texas. Investigators say social media, including public conversations and private messages between Simpson and terror groups, may have helped inspire the attack, raising hard questions about how other potential recruits in the United States are communicating with terror operatives overseas.
If they can be targeted on social media and inspired by ISIL, one or two people can do an awful lot of very, very bad things.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Live from the Skywatch Weather Center is Lauren Oleski with your weather forecast.
Good Friday morning, everyone. We have made it to the weekend, so you can see we are starting off with a mostly clear sky in the Midlands right now, really across most of the state. A lot of the rain from Anna is still offshore, so you're seeing this bright orange box off the coast. What is that? What are all these colors we're seeing? Well, these are watches and warnings that have been issued. So a small craft advisory issued for those very light pink colors that you're seeing. Elevated waves from the elevated wind speeds from that storm. Now a tropical storm warning issued for the coastal waters of South Carolina, and then down near the low country from Charleston, even up through parts of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, they are seeing a tropical storm watch. They will likely be seeing tropical storm conditions, which would be wind speeds of at least 39 miles per hour. Right now, Anna is seeing wind speeds of 45 miles per hour. So maybe you're looking for something to do this weekend, and you don't want to go east because that's where the storm is. How about you head way out west to the Chattooga River? This is in Mountain Rest, South Carolina. This is out near Greenville, so far away from that storm. So the weather actually doesn't look too bad out there. Warming up a little bit for this weekend, mid to upper 80s. Maybe a passing shower, but not too bad out there. So again, if you're looking for something to do, head to the west, because the east doesn't look that great. Showers likely along the coast at times today. We could see a rain shower in the Midlands as well. A mix of clouds and sun, kind of like what we saw yesterday. But the eastern Midlands, you have the better chance to see more rain today, obviously, because you are closer to the system. Tomorrow, likely the same thing. A few scattered showers kind of moving into the Midlands. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Could get some rain, maybe a thunderstorm or two from some of that heating for your Saturday. And we have the chance to see some rain again, even for your Sunday. I know it's Mother's Day, but scattered showers kind of stay with us through the weekend because the storm is so slow moving. So this is the GFS, one of our models, the global forecasting system model that shows the potential for the rainfall totals. Now, this is through Monday at noon. Obviously, most of the rain is expected to fall along the coast. Could see a couple showers in Columbia, maybe up to 1/10 of an inch through Monday. That's what this one is forecasting for. Again, we'll continue to keep an eye on it for you. Cloudy for the evening, a couple showers out there. Sunset is at 8:12. We're going to go send it back outside to Batesburg-Leesville. How's it going out there, guys?
All right, ladies, thank you so much for that. Well, earlier in the show, you know, we learned that George Washington, former president,
first president.
Exactly, passed through town. What are we going to learn next, Tyler?
Well, why is it called Leesville? And why are the two towns married? You know, with a hyphen, Batesburg-Leesville?
You're right, hyphenate like a... All right, Tyler, you're up to something.
See that? See that? We're getting married almost.
Oh, no, I only heard you say rap.
Stay with us, guys. Guys, welcome back to Good Day Columbia. As we travel to your town, that is, of course, if you're in Batesburg-Leesville, the entire Good Day crew out here live on a very special day. Of course, Poultry Fest coming to town, but Batesburg-Leesville, we're learning some of the history. Miss Louise Riley, not only do you know the history, you've written a book, by the way, Sherman's Army Marches into South Carolina and Lexington County.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the forming and, of course, the Civil War tie to Batesburg-Leesville.
Okay. The Lees had a mill and tavern on Saluda River.
Okay.
And they came into Leesville about the 1820s and had a tavern. And you think of a tavern as a place where they have whiskey and so forth.
Sure.
But in those days, it was a mail stop and also where people stayed.
Gotcha.
And
like a bed and breakfast then, kind of.
Sort of.
Okay, sure.
Yes. And they called it Leesville because that was the mail drop.
Right.
And that's the first time it was named that, probably about in the 1820s.
So I'm only about 200 years away from having it be Tiesville if I were here first, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Go
Well,
on.
anyway, So Leesville got its name from them,
Right.
and the family, original family, is buried across the street from where the tavern was.
Right, right.
And a replica of the tavern is on the River Walk in Columbia.
Is it really?
Yes, it's right near the Gervais Street Bridge.
Okay, so you can go check that out as well as you're walking around in Columbia. That's
Yes.
really neat.
And after that, the Civil War came along
Right.
in the 1860s.
Now, did Sherman actually march through Batesburg-Leesville,
No.
or did he stay in Lexington Way?
Sherman's army actually went through Lexington and then on into Columbia.
Gotcha.
Now, we did have bummers that would come this way because we're
Right.
not that far from Lexington. You have to feed an army.
You got to eat, right?
Yes, and so they came and they sort of devastated this area.
I got you. Real quick, I have just a couple of seconds left, Miss Louise. Batesburg-Leesville, how did the two towns become one?
Well, in the 1920s, they combined together to form a school together.
I see.
And that school was Batesburg-Leesville Consolidated High School.
Okay.
And that was the first time they ever did anything together.
And fast forward now, Batesburg-Leesville, a great little town. We've got to go to break, but we're going to continue on here live and local. Don't forget, Sherman's Army marches into South Carolina, Lexington County. Your fine book as well.
Thanks.
But guys, stay with us. We're going to stay live and local all morning long as we're in your town, Batesburg-Leesville, here on Good Day Columbia. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Good Day Columbia, everyone. We are broadcasting live in your town, Batesburg-Leesville. We've been learning a lot about the town. We've been learning about some history. We've been learning about the Poultry Fest, of course, and that's why one of the reasons why we're here to talk about the Poultry Fest. And Destiny, you had an opportunity to learn a little bit about the town as well.
Yes, that's right. I was able to come to this beautiful town and learn kind of the breakdown of what the Poultry Fest consists of.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear the word Poultry Festival, you think chicken, hens, turkeys, maybe even eggs. But when I talked to the people here, they said that the Poultry Fest means much more than that.
The South Carolina Poultry Festival. It comes around every second week of May in the small town of Batesburg-Leesville, home to about 5,500 people. But don't let the small population fool you. This year, it's expected to make big noise.
Anywhere from 80 to 100,000 people over the 3 days. We have a very good feeling about this year's festival and feel like it could be as big or bigger than we've ever had.
Brent Shealy is the manager of Economy Furniture in Batesburg and has been on the festival steering committee since it first began.
29 years ago when we had a meeting and were discussing ways to promote our town and our community. Just spawned a lot of great things for our community here in Batesburg-Leesville.
But aside from the rich history, Brent says the town sets a $100,000 budget a year, especially for the Poultry Festival, and the town has been very supportive. He says their main initiative is to give back.
We also want to provide an admirable level of support for our schools and for our charitable organizations and civic organizations here in town. We give away a lot of scholarships, a lot of money in scholarships to local students.
He says 30% of the budget comes from sponsors that give. Another 30% comes from space rentals used at the festival, such as food, crafts, and commercial vendors. 25% comes from the amusement rides, and 15% comes from ads, souvenir sales, and the cake auction. Many of these elements tying together the true meaning of the festival.
Reunion-type events, not only with working with the festival, but with people attending and coming here and having fun, and it's just a really great thing, and to celebrate life, to celebrate family, and to celebrate friends.
You can just feel the love here, Friendy.
Absolutely, definitely.
When I was here earlier, they showed me little boutiques, some restaurants. They explained some of the history. You can just, they're really proud of everything here in Batesburg-Leesville. But Amick Farms is one of the three main poultry farms that are the sponsors for the Poultry Festival. Now, I spoke with the vice president of Amick Farms, and he wants to assure everyone that Amick Farms does not take credit for everything that happens at the Poultry Festival. He said they're very proud, so he left us with this statement. He says, "We at Amick Farms are proud of what the Poultry Festival has become to our community and our state. Many of our employees and their families will attend the South Carolina Poultry Festival for fun, food, and fellowship and excitement that happens every year for this ever-growing event." Now, in addition to Amick Farms, there's Gentry's Poultries and Columbia Farms that are sponsors as well.
Right, so a lot of people here taking part in this, and once again, like we talked about with the organizer earlier, they're expecting about 100 100,000 people to come through this weekend. Just some good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we're going to toss it to Lauren Oleski, who's back live in the studio in Columbia. Hey, Lauren, what is the weather looking like?
Live from the SkyWatch Weather Center is Lauren Oleski with your weather forecast.
Hello, Destiny. So right now we are starting off with a mostly clear sky in the Midlands, a couple clouds out there, not too much rain activity along the coast. Anna's still a little bit further well offshore, so not too many impacts seen there this moment, but we've got our first named storm of the season. It is Subtropical Storm Anna. Subtropical storms are a little different than a typical storm that we see during the hurricane season, which would be a tropical storm. It has to do with where it gets its energy from and kind of the makeup and the characteristics of the system. But we're still seeing that rotation, still some strong winds in there. It is off the coast of the Carolinas, so most of the impacts will stay to our east. A couple showers are possible today. If anything pops up, they will be scattered and very light in nature. So let's take a look at Subtropical Storm Anna right now. This is as of the 5 o'clock advisory issued from the National Hurricane Center. 45-mile-per-hour wind speeds in there, moving north-northwest at a whole 1 mile per hour. Very slow-moving system. And there you can see that most of the moisture with Anna is on the western side. That's where we're seeing most of that rain. Let's set Future Watch in motion. So it's going to spin the storm, and it's going to move slowly, very slowly. You can see that by tomorrow morning, the bulk of the rain is still well off of the coast. Some clouds likely going to be moving in a little bit more at times throughout the day today, but as Anna gets closer tomorrow, better chance to see a couple showers and some more clouds in the region. Obviously, most of the impacts stay east, but we still have the chance to see a few scattered showers today, tomorrow, and on Sunday. Now, it's not going to be a washout or anything this weekend or for your Mother's Day, but a passing shower is possible. Better rain chances return Monday because of a cold front. Rain chances going down, but that front actually stalls, so we could see more moisture moving back into the region by Thursday of next week. So we're going to be live all morning here in the studio and in Batesburg-Leesville. Joe Pollock is going to be back after the break with hashtag Watch This.
Welcome back to Good Day Columbia. I'm Joe Pollock. It's hashtag Watch This. Joining me now is Tim Wild Thing Leopard, and we are here in Batesville-Leesburg for the, well, this is a little extreme right here. I have a monkey with me, part of Team Ghost Riders, and the monkey's name is
Little E.
Little E. So Little E's joining us now. Tim, tell us what you do with Little E.
Well, you know what? Little E's just part of the team. He's like the second generation. We have these little monkeys. His dad, his mom, and his brothers. We all dress them up like little cowboys, and they got these saddles on these border collies, and they ride the border collies and round up bighorn sheep all across the United States.
So he's like a cowboy.
He's a little cowboy.
He's a cowboy that's going to ride a dog, and they're going to go try to get what?
Round up some wild bighorn sheep.
Okay, so if you want to come out and see them, come on out to the South Carolina Poultry Festival this weekend. Do you have special times that you're going to be doing these shows?
I think we do it at 6 o'clock. Our last show tomorrow. We have 2 shows tomorrow, and Saturday we have, hey, that's my hair, quit. And
Little E, I mean, whoa, hey.
We're being whooped.
This is hashtag Watch This, and we're excited to have these guys here. Listen, my dream has always been to hold a monkey, and this morning I've lived out a lifelong dream. And so I couldn't be more excited. Now, what are you feeding him?
Kellogg's Pop-Tarts, the breakfast of the champions.
So if you want to come out and see Little E, and how many other monkeys do you have?
We have a total of 4 here. We have 5 dogs. These monkeys ride the dogs. They round up the sheep. We put them up on truck. I mean, you know, I took the dumbest animal in the world, and I took the smartest monkey, and I took the smartest dog.
Okay.
The border collie.
Okay. I thought you were talking about yourself. But so we're here
let the dog out.
South Carolina Poultry Festival. It's Good Day Columbia live in your town, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.